Today I'm eating not 3, not 4, not 5, but 10 instant ramen from famous ramen shops. I've scoured convenience stores far and wide to bring you this. We've got everything from Ippudo's silky tonkotsu ramen to fiery soupless tantanmen from 175 degrees Denno. I've really got my work cut out for me today. I've got to ask the ramen gods for some help here. Let's do this. For those of you here for the first time, I'm Frank from 5AM Ramen, born and raised in Tokyo, and up to now I've eaten thousands of bowls of ramen. I absolutely love ramen. This channel is dedicated to bringing you the very best ramen in Tokyo and Japan. So I got a pretty tall order today, let's get started. I'm starting off with a relatively light shio, or salt-based ramen, coming to you from Tsukimotos. They are a very famous ramen shop here in Tokyo. Instant ramen number 1. Now Tsukimotos ramen is award-winning. They've got both shoyu and shio, and this is their shio here. It's a combination of chicken, pork, and fish, and it's a beautiful blend. This one comes with a special oil that you're only supposed to put in right before you eat. I'm gonna add that right now. Normally the instant ramen that's shaped more like a ramen bowl, those are usually fancier. So this one, it's gonna be a little bit more, let's say, cup noodly, but Tsukimoto is an amazing ramen shop, so I'm sure it's still gonna taste good. Nice and salty shio. I mean, it's instant ramen too. Very tasty. The noodles are a little bit more like that cheaper instant ramen noodles. Toppings are really simple here. You've got a little bit of negi floating around, but nothing to write home about. We gotta move on. Next one, ramen number 2. This one's from Takata Ramen Bannai. Takata's in northern Japan, and they have more ramen shops per capita than anywhere else in the country. This ramen company, Bannai, they've got a history, and now they're pretty big. They've got ramen shops across Japan, not just Tokyo, and I believe several locations in the US too. So this is a shoyu or soy sauce ramen. It's gonna have a bolder soy sauce flavor, and the noodles should be thicker. Takata noodles are known to have a lot of water in them, have a really moist, kind of bouncy chew to them. Definitely bolder and more in your face, but still relatively light, just like in Takata. Now, let's work on these noodles. Thicker, a little bit flatter. Because of the limited time, I'm eating it like right after the water boils, so hope I don't burn my tongue. So the noodles are chewier, but I don't know if they're that much better than the previous one. And again, when you've got this cup shape, usually the instant ramen isn't gonna be as impressive. So we're moving on to the bowl-shaped instant ramen, the fancier styles, for ramen number 3. For this one, some of you abroad might know this ramen shop, Santoka. Now, even though in Japan they don't get as much love as they used to, they're still a very important ramen shop. They come from Hokkaido up in Asahikawa, and they have normally shio, miso, and shoyu on the menu. So this is their shio tonkotsu. So the light shio or salt seasoning with a pork bone broth. And I can already see it's a murkier, cloudier broth. The light shio seasoning really allows that pork bone kind of richness to shine through, but it's also a very mild tonkotsu. It's not as heavy as it could be. Thin straight noodles go well with the broth, and because this is one of the fancier instant ramen, it's got the actual bowl shape, we've got fancier toppings as well. A frisbee-sized chashu pork. This is very generous. Excellent chashu. Oh my god, I almost forgot the ume. This is plum, and this is their trademark in the shio. And the other toppings include naruto and negi. All right, no time, number 4. So for number 4, I've got Ippudo's instant ramen. This one, just like the Santoka one before this, are from 7-Eleven's Premium Gold selection. Santoka's ramen had 3 separate packets. This one has 4 separate packets. One of the packets was spicy miso and also an oil, and it smells a lot like a garlic oil, or mayu, they say in Japanese. So I'm expecting a garlicky tonkotsu compared to the last one we just had. Yeah, that was garlic oil, all right. Oh, it's good though. Just like with Santoka, it's a milder tonkotsu, but that doesn't mean any less delicious. Ippudo is notorious for constantly straining their pork bone broth to the point where it's just such a gentle but so packed with flavor, delicious soup. Noodle time. The noodles are even thinner than Santoka's and good quality. Toppings wise, you've got green negi and also little bits of kikurage, or wood ear mushrooms. And again, the pretty generous slab of chashu pork. Chashu pork is supposed to be grilled. Let's see how it tastes. Crazy, it does have a nice grilled flavor. Time flies, next one. Ramen number 5. This is coming from Kamitoku, which is from Tottori Prefecture. And they're known for having a beef bone-based ramen. They also have a shop in Ginza here in Tokyo, which I go to every so often. But this is not their standard beef bone ramen. This is a special limited edition instant ramen with a bright red broth here. And with the packaging, they have like the Mexican flag, and they're using a chili and habanero powder. I'm a little apprehensive, but I don't know, my spice tolerance is pretty good. Let's see how I do. Definitely spicy, but manageable. Just like at the ramen shop, it's very peppery too. Good noodles again, not the flash fried variety. Very nice. I was hoping it'd be a little bit spicier, but it's all good. This one feels a little bit more gimmicky. I think I would still stick with their regular beef bone broth ramen. Officially at the halfway mark. Gonna take a little bit of break with my latte here as the food coma starts to kick in. From the 5 that I had so far, are there any that stand out that you really want to eat? And stick around for the last 5 because you might have a favorite coming up there. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's get on to ramen number 6. Where are we at now? Ramen number 6. Keeping with the spicy theme, this instant ramen is from 175 degrees Denno. They, just like Santoka, are also based in Hokkaido but Sapporo. And they make a mean and spicy tantanmen, one of my favorite. This is also coming from Meiji, just like the Takata Ramen Bannai one. And in the Bannai one, we had a lot of sliced chashu pork. Here we've got minced pork. And also here, a generous amount of it. This one's spicier. You've got the heat coming from the Ryu chili oil and also that shibire numbing pepper. And I love the mini bok choy that they have in here. I'm getting better depth in the soup now as I kind of go to the bottom. I think it just needs to be mixed more. Lucky 7 for the next ramen. Okay, so I'm cheating a little bit. This one is also from 175 degrees Denno, but it's a soupless ramen, so a little bit different. Forgive me. And this one has much thicker noodles, as you can see here. That flavor is gonna be more concentrated, and as soon as you smell it, that numbing pepper just engulfs your nostrils. The noodles are much fatter, much chewier, and that flavor is so much more concentrated. Saltier, that numbing pepper like hits you much harder. This one is a little bit of a fancier instant ramen. It's hard to say though between the two which one I prefer. These thick noodles are really nice though. All right, what are we on? 8, 18? I don't know anymore. This is from Chukasoba Katsumoto. They're a very famous ramen shop. They've got 2 branches in Tokyo, one serving ramen, one serving skemen. This is the one serving ramen. And they do a light soy sauce broth with chicken and also niboshi, or fish, or dried fish. When I was putting in the instant ramen seasoning, I could smell that fish. That's impressive. It's got a nice fish accent coming from the niboshi, but it's also got that syrupy-like consistency coming from that chicken bone richness. And I like the finer details in this one. We've got the seaweed, for example. Okay, let's do this. Good quality instant noodles. Now, as I like to do, I wrap the seaweed around the noodles just to get a taste of the sea. Yeah, the chashu pork slice isn't as big as in the last 2, but I think this like thinner, more delicate slice of chashu is more appropriate for this more delicate bowl of instant ramen. Tastes good. Okay, I'm not starting to hallucinate yet. That's a good thing. On to number 9. Ramen number 9. So this is coming from Yoshimuraya. They were the ones that started house style or ieke ramen, which is tonkotsu shoyu, pork bones and soy sauce. It's a rich, thick ramen, and yeah, it's gonna be tough to do this one towards the end. Let's start with this soup. At this point, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna drink from the bowl. Yeah, rich and heavy. It's got this like buttery kind of flavor to it, but that soy sauce is still right there. I think I'm gonna be less descriptive as this goes on. I'm battling to fight through this food coma right now. Nice noodles here. This one's also from Meiji. I like the fact that they had a deck of cards for seaweed. They had 3 sheets of seaweed, not just 2, and very big sheets of seaweed. Chashu is good too. And this one, yeah, because it's officially sanctioned by Yoshimuraya, they're gonna make sure that all the details are there. Very nice, a little bit on the heavy side. I don't eat that much of this style, but yeah, they did a good job. You know when you're climbing that mountain and you can see the peak, you can see the finish line? That's how I feel right now. This one's coming from Ichigan. They're also Sapporo, Hokkaido based, and they're known for a shrimp ramen that uses tonkotsu or pork bones in the broth. You can customize at their shop too. You can choose to get a shio, shoyu, or miso base. This one is miso, and also my favorite at that shop. You can also choose how rich you want the soup. Now this one I'm guessing might be somewhere in the middle. Yeah, not too rich. Yeah, not bad, but not as good as their ramen shop. And that, I think, is more apparent with this one. Somehow the kettle wasn't working, so I was boiling the hot water from the pot. I don't know what's going on at this point. But I have completed the 10. I am so full. But I'm gonna do a bonus round to make it 11, and I got another one here to do that. I don't know why I'm moving the goalpost. Ramen number 11. What am I doing? This one, unfortunately, doesn't come from a famous ramen shop, but it's from Ace Cook, another company. They do a lot of things, including instant ramen. And what they have here is a tonkotsu flavored soup, but without using any tonkotsu or pork bone at all. It's just chicken and beef. And what would normally be minced pork is actually soybeans. It's kind of like a, not quite halal or vegan, but kind of getting halfway there. But I'm interested to see what a porkless tonkotsu flavored ramen is without using any tonkotsu. It tastes like Santoka kind of did. It's like a bright shio, and this creaminess coming from the tonkotsu. I'm impressed. This one, I did not expect anything out of. And mind you, it's a very simple instant ramen. You just toss in the hot water. They don't have the separate fancy packaging, but the soup itself is very tasty. The noodles, I'm expecting your typical flash fried noodles. And that's what you get. Surprisingly punches above its weight. I don't know where I am right now, but somehow I did 11 instant ramen. Mind you, I didn't drink all the soup. I didn't finish every little bit of noodle, but I am full. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Now that you saw all 11, let me know which one you'd like to eat most from all 11 of them. This is Frank from 5 AM Ramen signing out. Definitely ready for a nap. And reminding you that Tokyo is the only city in the world where you can have excellent instant ramen at 5 AM. Thank you for joining. There's a helicopter outside. I wonder if they're coming for me. I don't think I've broken any ramen rules.